Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you and supported by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And if you're watching from Australia and work in the oil industry and have plans to attend the AOG Energy at the Perth Convention and Exhibition Centre this month, why not visit my sponsor Craig International during the 3-day event? They will be on stand G7 and I have no doubt they will be delighted to see you. Next up for the Dons, it's a trip to Paisley to take on Stephen Robinson's St Mirren. Just over 1,100 travelling Aberdeen fans will be in attendance and hoping for a vastly improved performance on recent weeks. Kick-off is at 3 o'clock. Let's put this into context for you. So, Motherwell travel to Ibrox. So you would assume that Rangers would take all points there, which gives us an opportunity to climb the table. We can only go above Motherwell as it stands. St Johnstone, who are level pegging with us, they host bottom table Livingston. So something could give there. And Hibs, who obviously have their own aspirations of getting into the top six, well, they host Ross County. So there's some very interesting and important games going on in and around Aberdeen. Hi everybody, a very warm welcome to Ali Beg AB TV on YouTube this Friday night ahead of our big game, say it again, big game against St Mirren in Paisley on Saturday afternoon. So, pre-recorded. Thank you for leaving all your messages on my social media pages as always. I will do my very best to get through the majority of them on today's show, and we'll take care of all the usual bits and pieces for you: match stats, managers' quotes, predicted team lineups, etc, etc. There was something that I wanted to do very quickly just while we're here. I wanted to thank a gentleman who recently signed up to the membership scheme here on ABTV. If you're unaware of the membership scheme, what it basically is, it's a small subscription fee, which means that basically you are helping me massively with this channel. I know I say it time and time again, but anything that I make from a financial point of view gets put back into the channel. And we're slowly building ahead of next season with a number of new initiatives and stuff that we're looking to do. So thank you to Jim Ross, who signed up to the channel in the last 24 hours or so. So Jim, thank you so much. If you're watching, please get in touch because I would like to have a personal one-on-one chat with you about ABTV and just your general thoughts as always. So many thanks to Jim for signing up. Right, so now that that's done, what I'd like to do and what I'm going to start with today is predict the team lineup, because what I've been concerned about, and it seems to be the general topic of conversation amongst Aberdeen fans at the moment, is where Neil, I personally think, hasn't quite grasped the players that he's working with. I don't want to play skullduggery, and I'm not throwing any accusations or anything like that. I'm not slinging mud. But I do wonder, when he keeps chopping and changing the team and the formation, if he really did his due diligence before he came up on the calibre of player that we've got. He can't keep experimenting until he finds the right solution. Because that's, I could be completely wrong, but that's what it appears he's doing. He's giving everybody a chance to assess whether they are going to be good enough to play in the games under him until he basically leaves at the end of the season. But I just don't think he can be doing that. We need a steady lineup and formation in every single game to give us that level of consistency. And at the moment, it gives me the fear that he's not quite doing that. So, tomorrow, this is a predicted lineup. Kelly will keep his place in goal. But what I'm really hoping, after what he witnessed on Wednesday night, that he will change the centre-back partnership. Apart from one error, I thought Angus did really well. So I would like to think that he will retain his position and Jack Milne goes in beside him. And let's see what those two can do. Now, I know that I might be contradicting myself in terms of chopping and changing the team, but I just don't think Richard Jensen and Stefan Gartenmann is working. And until Ruby becomes fit, I'm just not overly confident about the centre-back position. I think Jack will play, Nicky will play in usual positions. Graham and Connor just to sit in front. And then in front of them, I would like to think that Junior will have a go. Phillips will be in, as well as Jamie, and then Bojan up top on his own. So I've just got a feeling that is roughly what might happen tomorrow, because with the boy Phillips, I think we need that physicality. And I keep talking about physicality. And Neil Warnock, to be fair, keeps talking about it as well. So I think if we can bring in the type of player that he appears to be, who doesn't, he likes a challenge, doesn't shirk challenges, likes the physical side of the game. He's a good height. If he can go in and just play just behind Bojan, and just be a pest in and around that area, as well as being physical, I think it will give us half a chance. I've got the match stats for you. I'll bring them to you in just a second. But first, I pulled out a couple of quotes from Neil Warnock's press conference today. So he said, I think we've got to be positive, and that's what I'm going to try and instill tomorrow. Let's have a go when we can. We've got to be positive. There is no good in feeling sorry for ourselves. We know what's going on. We talk about the silly mistakes, but I think we've got to be positive, and that's got to come from me. The lads have got to put the fear side away. So I have no issues with that whatsoever. But if he's going to be positive, and if he's going to take responsibility for the positivity, then I don't want him to come out and say, we're not going to win any more football matches. And I don't want him to throw any of our individual players under the bus, because for me, that's not healthy. So if you're going to be positive and you're going to encourage positivity, then all this, we're not going to win another game nonsense, has to go in the bin. Right, let's bring you the match stats. Okay. So, where are they? There they are. Right, that will go in there. I'll also drag this item in. And one last thing to do. Where are you? There you are. Okay, we're now done. Right, so, match stats. Let's take a look. Aberdeen are winless in 9 Scottish Premiership matches. St Mirren are looking to extend their unbeaten run to 3 league games. Aberdeen have conceded 45 league goals this season. Only Dundee, Ross County and Livingston have conceded more. St Mirren have only lost 4 Scottish Premiership games at home this season. The man in the middle, in charge, is Nick Walsh, and on VAR is Kevin Clancy. So, St Mirren, what should we expect? Very well organised, very disciplined under Stephen Robinson. They were off sorts against Ross County. They did not get balls into the box as often and as quickly as I've seen them do before. So I think Lewis Jameson on one side and Greg Kilty on the other, I think against us will look to exploit spaces that sometimes we are very guilty of leaving. And I think they will try and whip balls in to the boy Mikel Mandron, if he starts, as quickly as they possibly can. Because I think that Stephen Robinson will target our central defensive partnership. And I think that they will try and play through us. So they're strong in midfield. They've got players who are good on the ball, who can make things happen. And we have to match it. Hence why I think that's why Graham and Connor will just play just in front. So do I have any hope? Of course. But I am worried. after our recent performances, and we cannot put in the type of performance that we did away at Kilmarnock because we will lose the game. And we cannot put in the type of performance that we saw against St Johnstone because we'll lose the game. So I really hope that the players have had a long, hard look at themselves and have started to really take note of the dire situation that we currently find ourselves in. This is a collective responsibility to make sure that the absolutely unspeakable does not happen to our football club. And the players have to take responsibility for that, as well as the manager. I don't know if you watch, it's Gary Neville's YouTube channel, The Overlap. He's got a show on there called Stick to Football. I think that's what you call it, where he's got Roy Keane, Ian Wright, Jamie Carragher and Jill Scott. And their latest episode was a fascinating watch when they were talking about Eric Ten Hag, the manager at Manchester United, and Jamie Carragher's an analytical piece that he did on Monday Night Football on Sky. And Roy Keane made a really interesting point that when they played at United, or even when he played at Nottingham Forest, if things were not going right, in fact, I think it was in reference to when Manchester City were playing Luton and Manchester City were absolutely gubbing Luton. And the manager of Luton didn't make any changes, even though they were getting absolutely gubbed. And Roy Keane was making the argument that if you need to sort of sit in a bit, you as players have to take that responsibility, that you have to talk to each other, that you cannot look over to the sidelines in hope that the manager is going to give you instant instructions about what you should be doing. It's all about taking responsibility on the field of play. And I thought it was a fascinating chat, and I really encourage you to watch it, because I think it's exactly what is missing with our players at the moment. Nobody is taking responsibility on the field of play when things are going on around them. I don't see anybody shouting. I don't see anybody giving instructions. You know, Shinza, the captain, obviously, he's a talker. He is a communicator. It's very difficult, obviously, to gauge that only from television pictures. But more of our players need to take responsibility when things are not going right. And God forbid, if we go behind tomorrow, we cannot throw in a white towel. We have to absolutely start taking responsibility, start talking to each other, start communicating with each other, and make things happen. And don't be looking to the manager, and don't be waiting until half time to then get instructions. Make it happen right there and then. Take the game by the scruff of the neck and just take that responsibility. That's all we as fans are asking. Be responsible. Was that another rant? I think it was, right? So, this is where we are. So obviously, St Mirren. We've got the Scottish Cup tie, obviously, but these are our league fixtures. We've got Dundee away. Huge game. Then we have to play Motherwell. So 3 back-to-back away league games. Then we host Ross County at the end of the month. Huge game, potentially. Then we're away to Livingston. And before the split, we host Dundee again. So those are our remaining fixtures ahead of the split. If you are going to Paisley tomorrow, here's your weather forecast. It will be 6 degrees, roughly, at kickoff. The high is 6 degrees. The low is 3. And they're expecting the wind to be normal tomorrow. So I got told today that our allocation, our away allocation behind the goal was 1,800, and that we've sold up until 4 o'clock UK time, we'd sold 1,100 tickets, which I still think is a magnificent effort considering how gash we are currently. So I tip my hat to every single one of you who's going to make the effort to go to Paisley and cheer the boys on. And I really hope You get a performance to match your efforts. Right, I think it's about time we got you guys on. Just let me open up your comments. Okay, here we go. So, again, a very decent amount of comments that came in today. So, once again, thank you so much for contributing. Let's start, as I mostly do, with X. Where is X? There it is. Okay, let me find the notifications. And okay, so Suze said, I'm hoping the other team turn up tomorrow. Glenn has said, don't think I've ever been less fussed for a game before. Can't see anything other than a defeat, to be honest. Philip Coots is also not confident. He says, I can see St Mirren tonking us 3 or 4-0. Can't see where our next win is coming from, and all that's happening is our goal difference is getting worse by the game, which might be crucial come the end of the season. Every other team fighting, we are capitulating. Sad times. Andy McPherson has said, I have the meh, which is way worse. Watty has said, St Mirren are beatable, but we need to believe in ourselves a bit. Yep. Grey Pilgrim said, drop Roos, Gartenmann and Barron. None will be with us next season. Milne, Sokler, Duke should start. Maybe McGarry, Phillips and Hoylett can help if given a decent chance. Also, send Warnock on his way. Slochy Dave said, just win please. Hoylett, Duke and Bojan up top. Not sure about the rest. Attack, attack, attack with quick long balls from the keeper. High intensity please. Eddie has said, well, he's predicting 2-1 to the Sheep if you can achieve even average finishing. The other night was laughably bad. Okay, so that's all the comments that came in on X. So let's now get to Facebook. Okay, David Wilson said, the club have talked about transparency. If they are being serious about this, will the independent review be made public or will we be told what they want us to know? Jimmy Pringle has said, bench Roos, get Devlin back on the pitch. Tell them that the kids will be getting played if they don't start performing. Not confident at all. At this point, I'd take a point. Nigel Riach has said, relegation battle for sure. Paul Bowie has said, looking like more and more are seeing the Warnock experiment is simply not working. If anything, we have become worse up front and even more vulnerable at the back with a weak defence and midfield, zero quality on the wings. We are in big trouble. We're not even scoring goals, which is a huge concern as we cannot keep the door closed at the back. Rookie mistakes are hitting us hard every time. Paul J. Johnston said, I cannot remember ever feeling like this. I fully expect St Mirren to win 2 or 3-0. I'm not even sure I can bring myself to watch it. Hoppala. Alex Wallace said, I'm not normally religious, Ali, but recently I found myself praying for any type of positive result. A draw, a goal, anything that shows the players have not given up. Come on, you Reds, get the finger out. John McDonald said, shore up that defence of ours. Stop the soft goals that are killing us. Surely our fill-in super coach must be fixating on that. Are you with me? John Ritchie said, beat St Mirren, the mistakes and blunders Dons are making just now. We'd be lucky to beat Helen Mirren. Oh, dearie me. Simon McPherson said, a playoff game against Dundee United would be epic. Looks like we're doing our best to make it happen. Oh, please don't. Cameron Young said, come on Aberdeen, let's get the result we really need and stop lying down to teams and start getting the results back on track. Come on, you Reds. GW Finlater said, as a team, we have already gone over the top. The unthinkable results have already happened. So how much worse could it get? Very sadly, pains me to say, but I can't see us taking anything. And it's not like we are talking about the Old Firm or Hearts. It's St Mirren. Stephen Evans said the idea of an interim manager should have worked, especially with someone as experienced as Warnock and his track record of improving teams that have been struggling for form. However, the problem with this appointment is that he doesn't know Scottish football. Came in once the transfer window had shut and had no way of making any real changes to the squad. Personally, I think we should have continued with Peter leaving until the end of the season, had a system that worked and earned us a result against Celtic. Thereafter, the system, formation, along with individual errors, are costing us. He finishes off by saying, also very concerning is the lack of an update on the search for a new manager and the review into the process. Surely there has been applications, initial discussions. Excellent point. Keith Whelan has asked a very simple question. Please, players in the positions they actually play would be great against St Mirren. Jeff Doig said, you say you have the fear. Well, don't worry, you will get used to it. I've had the fear every game since Goodwin. Maybe today I can get excited. David Gold says, I want to see a 4-3-2-1 formation with Barron in a deep lying playmaker role. Scott Bowie said they need to start showing pride in the jersey and actually start playing football. Hoofball never works. Under Robson, now it's even worse under Warnock. Majowski also needs help up front. Seems to be isolated sometimes. I agree with that. He does need help. David Milne says, time for big hearts and bloody mindedness. But I worry if we have that now. Roos, Jensen and Garteman have lost all confidence, so bring in Angus, Jack Milne and Doohan. Hoylett to start. Michael Clark has said he does not have any confidence in getting a result tomorrow. He has no idea what defence will be put out, same with the midfield. And he doesn't know if we're going to play hoofball. And also, he says, Bojan needs support up front. Martin Smith has said, I'm hoping they have worked on some structure and patterns of play since the last debacle. I'd have Milne and McDonald as my two centre-backs, with Angus telling Jack, you win it and I'll cover. Yeah. Gordon Ritchie said, we're at the stage we need to pick the best team in formation and barring injuries and suspensions and make us not so easy to beat and start getting points to get out of the mire. The players should look at themselves and and he says, give their pay to the supporters for watching them as we still go home and away in numbers to support them. Brian Florence said, scrap three at the back, less of the long ball, especially from Roos. His distribution is terrible. Another one who doesn't want Neil Warnock in charge. Kathy Spence said, hope the sports psychologist gets them back on track. Heads are down and confidence gone. Booing the team is making things worse. Just praying that we avoid ending up in the bottom six. Gavin Bush says, I can't see us winning tomorrow. Bojan is out of form, which is the most worrying sign of them all. I don't see where the goals are coming from if he stops scoring. The whole club is a shambles. F1 Jim said, countdown to kamikaze defending would be apt at the moment. Andrew Smith said, very worried after watching Wednesday's performance, disjointed and no clear plan on how we're trying to break them down. Players look completely shot of confidence, but they say it's a funny old game. Here's hoping our fortunes change on Saturday. Michael Smith is predicting another disappointment. Ali J. Phillips has said, drop Kelly Roos in goal, put on Ross Doohan. Kelly hasn't played well at all this season. Alex McDonald has said, I'm past making comments about the situation at the club. I think I'll just go into prayer mode and hope my prayers are answered. A lot of you have commented about that you would like to see Angus and Jack played at centre-back, dropping Gartenmann and Jensen. You know, all of you have said, look, decent lads, but badly out of form. A lot of you also asking for Junior Hoylett to start. Johnny Wilson said, don't care about the performance tomorrow. Just get out there and graft. Fight like your careers depend on it and stop embarrassing yourselves, your club and your profession. 100%. Duthie RC said, from previous seasons, we've always struggled in Paisley. Based on current form, I don't think we'll get anything from the game. Karen O'Connor said, maybe when we shout about 4-4-2, Warnock thinks we mean 10 players in front of the goalie and it's pot luck. I was hoping he'd have gone by now. Yeah, he's the shift in opinion on Neil Warnock is very telling at the moment. Very, very telling. John Gordon makes an interesting point. Quite simple for me. Go back to the team that beat Frankfurt at Pataudry. Slobodan missing, but Devlin the man to step in. Get them together and remind them how well they played that night and challenge them to a repeat performance. Challenge them, exactly. Terry Green, first time I have posted since Barry's sacking. Said at the time we should have given Barry to the end of the season. Although results were not what we expected, at least the players looked like they were enjoying working with him. He goes on to talk about, the mistakes that the board are making currently and hoping it doesn't cost us our place in the league. Malcolm Park said, get on the front foot from the start and attack them. Don't wait until we are losing to do the attacking. Jensen and Gartenmann took Cadonis for the day, so nowhere near the team. Oh, flashbacks. Okay, Gordon McCourt has said, here's a thought. Everyone needs to relax, as we all have us relegated. Utter madness. To be fair, Gordon, I absolutely take your point and respect it, but I don't think the majority of fans have us relegated. I just think everybody's really worried that we're going to get dragged into the relegation playoff. I think that's what the big issue is, because if we do, then there is seriously the fear of relegation after that. But automatic relegation, I'm not overly worried about that. Anyway, he goes on to say, look at the table and relax a wee bit. Panic mode helps nobody, and anyone that thinks Warnock is telling the media what he's telling the players is beyond insane. I respect your point. Okay. Alistair Davidson has been very positive, and I love this. He said, this is going to sound stupid. It doesn't, Alistair. Top 6, still 5 points away. Start winning and climb that table. Let's be positive at least. I'm with you. Last comment of the day. Graham Watson said, certainly need Devlin back in. 2 up front, just trying to be positive that the players can get a result. Scoring first goal would help, but that means starting well, which we do not do. Need to be a lot quicker in our play. There we go. Right, so we've done nearly half an hour. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching the show. Let me drag this in. I actually forgot to put this in. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? There it is. Okay, so tomorrow I'll be on the big Saturday football show on North Sound 1 between 2 and 6, where if you're out and about, you're not going to Paisley, and you want a completely biased opinion on how Aberdeen are getting on against St Mirren, well, this is the show for you, because I'll be sat here in my little studio reporting back live updates from St Mirren. If you've not listened to the show before, I highly recommend it, because you'll have a really good laugh, because that's what it's all about. It's just about having a really good laugh and a really good time. Good music, silly games, lots of banter amongst the boys, and obviously football. And everything, apart from Celtic and Rangers, which is why I love the show. So I will be back on Sunday night for the review show. So again, all that's left to say, as we always do ahead of a game, is the very best of luck to the lads. Have a very safe trip if you're heading to Paisley tomorrow. And yeah, we've been, I'm being a little bit guilty of being a bit downtrodden on the team over the past few days, but, can you blame me? You know that I like to be positive, and it's just very difficult to be positive at the moment. So, look, worst case scenario, we get beat. Best case scenario, we turn in a great performance and we get the 3 points. But at this moment in time, again, without trying to sound too downtrodden, I would happily take a draw at St Mirren tomorrow. So come on, lads. Surprises. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you again on Sunday night. Take care. Stand free.